Good evening, Southwest Georgia, and welcome to the final week of the Blitz. I'm Matthew Doyle, and while it may be the final week of the show, many teams battled it out on the gridiron tonight to make sure it wasn't their final week of the season, and one of those teams was Deerfield-Windsor. The Knights prepared all week to face John Milledge tonight in the semifinals of the Class AAA playoffs in the GISA, and Deerfield-Windsor's last two seasons came to an end in the semis, and tonight they didn't want to suffer the same fate. This week, Fox 31 Sports talked to head coach Alan Lowe on what the Knights had to do to advance to the state finals.
Well, we just got to go out and play better than they do tomorrow night, and we just got to play with a lot of heart and a lot of passion, and they're going to come out wanting to really hit us in the mouth, and we got to be ready to take care of business, and it's just all three phases of the game. Hopefully this is our time.
And we'll see if it is the Knights' time in our Harvey's Game of the Week. Knights ready to go in this one. First drive, Tyler Lowe drops back to pass, finds John Samuel Shanker, sheds off two tacklers, gets a nice block downfield, and he's gone down the sideline. 37-yard touchdown, Knights up 7-0 in the early first quarter. Now Deerfield-Windsor put together a nice drive on their next possession, but it stalls, forced to kick a field goal, but it goes wide left. Score remains 7-0, but the Knights special teams made up for it on this punt coverage. Scott Jarzen downs it at the 1-yard line. John Milledge is in trouble, and 3 plays later, Trevor Evans drops back to pass out of his own end zone, but it's Scott Jarzen again making the big defensive play, this time with the interception. Deerfield in great field position. 1 play later, give it to Cameron McCook. He gets him inside the 7-yard line of the really close to the end zone, and they reward the big man by giving him the ball. 2 plays later, Knights take the 14-0 lead in the second quarter. They go on to win. They advance to the state finals for the first time since 2012. And Coffee looking to continue their successful season as they welcome Kell to town in the second round of the playoffs. An opening drive for Coffee. The Trojans give it to Demetrius Davis, and he does the rest. Breaks past the first line and showcases his speed from there. 70-yard touchdown run and a made PAT, and it's 7-0 Coffee in the early going. Second drive now for Coffee. Max Hughes back to pass, completes it just over the defender's hands to Cam Davis, shows off the stiff arm, and eventually gets to the Kell 25-yard line before being brought down. And a few plays later, Thomas Spencer with the handoff, met at the line of scrimmage, fighting for Esther Large, coughs up the football. Kell recovers, and the Coffee drive is stalled. Huge play in this game, and later on, Coffee driving again at the 5-yard line. Demetrius Davis fumbles again, and it's Shamar Bennett this time recovering it for Kell. Takes it back for 99 yards for the touchdown, 7-7 at half, and Kell goes on to win 14-7 and eliminates Coffee from the playoffs. And the Packers were looking to make it 27 straight wins as they took on Central Gwinnett in the second round. First drive, Chase Parrish fires across the middle, and he finds Keel Pollard, who will do the rest for a Packer touchdown, 7-0 Colquitt County. And the Knights, they're trying to respond by taking a shot for the end zone, but Jamarius Walker is there for the interception. He's trying to get more, and he gets behind his blockers, and he's able to shake 1 tackle, picks up some nice yards before finally being brought down. The Packers are pumped up on the sideline as they have the ball and the lead, and the Packer ball, Ty Lee receives the snap. He hands it off, and the ball is eventually flipped to quarterback Chase Parrish, who throws a strike to Keel Pollard, wide open for the touchdown. 14-0 Packers after that nice play. And on the next drive, Ty Lee, once again, he is going to showcase his speed as he burns the defender down the sideline, comes up with a catch. That is good for another Packer touchdown. Colquitt County rolls to a 62-21 win, and they advance to the next round. And Brooks County and Manchester squared off tonight in the second round for the first time since the 1994 state championship game. Brooks opening drive, DeMonte Jones back to pass finds Toriano Porterfield for the touchdown. Trojans lead 7-0 after a Brooks onside kick. Trojans take the ball, and Jonathan White fights his way into the end zone, and the Trojans go up 14-0 early in the first quarter, and Manchester scores the TD to make it 14-6, but the Trojans come right back. Jones finds Jared Cody across the middle for the touchdown, 21-6. Still in the first, Manchester makes it a close game when Trey Gamble goes in for the score, 21-14. The Blue Devils hit the ball back. During the second, Garrett Brown hits Ashton Bell, who takes the vicious hit from Nate Vick, but they call it a touchdown, 21-20 at that point. And late in the second quarter, White gets a handoff, goes in for his second touchdown. Brooks goes into halftime up 27-20. They go on to win 41-26. And don't go anywhere. Fox 31 Sports takes a look at what Class Single A teams do during their bye week before the playoffs, as well as have more game highlights from the playoffs tonight. All that and more coming up on the Blitz. Welcome back to the Blitz. Unlike the rest of the classes in the GHSA, the Class Single A playoffs started tonight, and after a week off, Fox 31 Sports' Joey Lamar explores how some schools use the time off in preparation for the playoffs.
This week, as classes AA through 6A entered the second round of the state playoffs, Class Single A started their first round. The week off allows time for players to rest and get healthy, but some coaches are more appreciative than others.
And blessings to GHSA for giving Single A week off because we truly need it.
Irwin County coach Buddy Nobles believes that time off allows teams to return to the roots of football, a task that cannot be performed during the rigors of the season.
Went back to the basic, just the fundamentals, and tackling and blocking and doing things that you might miss during the season.
Coach Nobles allows his younger players along for the playoff ride, and at the end of practice, they have fun.
Each day we had a scrimmage, so we had what we call the Indian Bowl each day at the end of practice, and just let them scrimmage and hit the mess out of each other.
All coaches can tell you the positives, but there are some potential pitfalls.
If there is a downside, just not staying on a regular schedule.
From a player's perspective, they view the week off as a mini vacation.
My vacation, I went home and I took a nap, and a well happy nap. That was this Monday I had in a while. I'll tell you that.
As for his teammates, they took a different approach.
Most of them probably went home and rested up, watched a little TV, playing Monday Night Football, watched some of that, of course.
I'm Joey Lamar, Fox 31 Sports.
All right, thanks, Joey. And one of those teams that begins their playoff season tonight is Irwin County. The Indians are coming off a win over Turner County that helped them clinch back-to-back region titles, and that is why they are the team of the week. The Indians once again had a successful regular season in Buddy Noble's second year as head coach, and they entered this year's playoffs looking to make another deep run. Last season, they made it all the way to the Georgia Dome before falling to Hawkinsville in the state finals, and this year, their journey begins with Wilkinson County. Coach Noble said there was one specific thing that Wilkinson County brings to the table that will be tough to stop.
Oh, just how athletic they are, and they've got some big kids they can run, and they got some big athletic kids, so they're going to be real physical and everything. We just got to make sure we stick to our game plan and do what we do, and we're going to be okay.
And let's see if the Indians can't stop that athleticism tonight in the first round of the Class A playoffs. 21-13 Irwin in the third. Third and short for the Indians, and a big defensive stop by Wilkinson's Brad Mays. The Irwins are forced to punt. Fourth and short for Wilkinson. Irwin defense rises to the occasion for a big stop. They take over in Wilkinson territory, and on third and short for Irwin, a fumble snap, but the Indians recover for a loss of 2. Indians would turn the ball over on downs, and on the next play for Irwin, they have a huge defensive play, stopping the runner in the backfield. End of the third was a score of 21-13. Irwin County ends up winning 30-13. And let's look at who Irwin County will face in the next round between Tryon and Turner County. First quarter, Turner quarterback Tyler Moore hands the ball off to Tamorian Terry, and Terry runs 30 yards into the end zone. PAT is blocked by Tryon. Turner County leads 6-0 early on. Still in the first, opposite side of the field, quarterback Jarrett Gill hands the ball off to Malik Martin, who squeezes through for the touchdown. PAT good, 7-6 Bulldogs. And in the second quarter, Gill gives the ball to Gabe Howell this time, and Howell pushes through the Rebel defense. That's a touchdown for Tryon. They lead 14-6. Second, after a Rebel fumble, Tryon quarterback Jared Gill throws the ball to Evan Walker, and he's in for the touchdown. Bulldogs lead 21-6 over the Turner County Rebels, and later in the second, quarterback Jared Gill connects with Gabe Howell again, and Howell is taken down near the 12-yard line by Turner's Arkevius Burgess. Tryon first down near the end zone. Tryon Bulldogs defeat Turner County Rebels 40-6. And we are going to take a quick break, but coming up, I'll name the Player and Fan of the Week nominees, and the GHSA released its classes for the 2015 to 2017. All that and more coming up on the Blitz. Welcome back to the Blitz with another set of playoff games in the books. It's time to recognize some of the best performances from tonight with our Colquitt Regional Medical Center Player of the Week nominees. Deerfield Windsor Scott Jarzen had a huge play on special teams, pinning John Milledge inside the 1-yard line, and 3 plays later, the interception has set the Knights up in great field position to score. And Keel Pollard had 2 touchdowns in the early going as the Arkansas commit helped boost the Packers to the playoff win. And in Brooks County's game, Jonathan White had a pair of touchdowns for the Trojans. Go online and vote for the final player of the week for this season. And let's take a look at the Terrell Seat player of the week. It comes from the Colquitt County game. Ty Lee receives a snap, hands it off, and the ball is flipped to quarterback Chase Parrish. He throws a strike to Keel Pollard, who is wide open for the touchdown. It was 14-0 Packers at that point. They go on to win big to advance in the playoffs. And while we're at it, let's name the nominees for the Albany Technical College Fan of the Week. The Deerfield Windsor parents cheered on the players entering the field while wearing their away jerseys. And I'm loving this Brooks County fan repping the Trojans big time with their helmet and straight out of Brooks County t-shirt. And at Colquitt County, what else is new? The Colquitt County student section was representing tonight. Always fun to see the Colquitt Crazies at the games. Go online and vote for your favorite fan. And on Wednesday, the GHSA Reclassification Committee released its class breakdowns for 2015 to 2017. Schools can still request to move up a class, but here's a look at where the committee placed some of the schools around this area. Lowndes, Camden County, Colquitt County, and Tift County will all be a part of the Bid 44, while Lee County, Valdosta, and Coffee are in the second largest class, which is now in 6A, and Bainbridge and Thomas County Central move up to 5A, while America, Sumter, Westover, and Cairo all stick in 4A. Crisp County and Monroe move down to 3A, as does Worth County and Doherty. Albany is now in Class 2A, along with Fitzgerald, while many of the 1A schools like Irwin County, Turner County, and Terrell County are staying put. The regions will be determined when the committee meets on December 1st. And here's a look at playoff games for next week after looking at some final scores from tonight. Colquitt County will take on South Forsyth. Deerfield Windsor will play Valwood, and Fitzgerald will play Benedictine, and Brooks County will play Greater Atlanta. Irwin County will play Tryon. Bainbridge will play St. Pius. And now I know some of these teams are wanting to know more, so we'll see where they play next week. And it's almost Saturday, which means time for some college football. I'll have some game previews, and Sean will give his forecast for games going on tomorrow after the break. Welcome back to the Blitz. It's time for some college football, and the Georgia Bulldogs will take on Georgia Southern tomorrow at 7 p.m. in Athens, Georgia. And the Bulldogs' SEC schedule is complete, as their final 2 weeks before bowl season is against Georgia Southern and Georgia Tech. And Georgia Southern can't be overlooked. The Eagles are the top rushing team in the nation with a little under 380 yards per game on the ground, and they spread the wealth as 4 players have 500-plus rushing yards and 6 or more rushing touchdowns. One of those players is former America Sumter running back Wesley Fields. And meanwhile, Alabama will face the 9-1 Charleston Southern Buccaneers, who clinched the Big South Conference title. They have lost to their last 4 FBS opponents by a combined 245-32. Unlike Georgia, Alabama has one more SEC game, and Coach Nick Saban doesn't want his team to lose focus against the Bucs just because they're in the FCS.
This is a good team that we're playing, and hopefully our players will have the kind of respect they need to go out and play, good, positive, winning football against them.
And Florida State will be taking on Chattanooga at home, and it'll be Sean McGuire's turn at starting quarterback. He'll be going up against the Mocs, who are ranked 8th in the FCS, top 25, and are atop the Southern Conference. Jimbo Fisher decided to stick with McGuire after the way he performed last week.
He stood in there and really delivered the ball, took some shots. Everett did too earlier in the game. But just got us in a rhythm, got confidence. We got the running game going, and just played an outstanding football game. I thought he played extremely well.
And finally, Auburn will host their final game before facing Alabama in a rivalry week. The good news for the Tigers is it's not an SEC opponent this week, where all 5 of their losses have occurred this season. Idaho comes to town with a 3-7 overall record, and they've given up 41 points per game this season, along with a little under 450 yards per game. Auburn has lost 3 of their last 4, but a win over the Vandals would make them bowl eligible in a down year for the Tigers. Now let's send it over to Sean to see what the weather will be like for these games tomorrow.
Thanks, Matt. Checking what's happening here. Well, there's a lot of cold air back behind this front. You can see the snow, rain changing over to snow. Up ahead, all that clutter. We're going to start to see increasing clouds, and there may just be enough moisture, especially down towards Tallahassee. If anyone's heading down there, well, you guys would probably encounter some limited rain. Kickoff 3 p.m., so if you're out tailgating beforehand, plan on seeing some rain out there. Temperatures topping out to around 72. And rain chances linger right as you're heading back home, too, when temperatures falling, of course. Now, Tuscaloosa, Alabama, has generally the same type of weather, and they kick off at the same time. So here's a similar forecast for you there. You can't rule out a rain shower just before kickoff, but through much of the gameplay, it's looking good. Sunset just after 5:30, and temperatures falling quickly down to around 50. And if anyone's heading up to Athens, looks fairly rainy. Kickoff isn't until 7 p.m., so gameplay will be under the lights, and we're dealing with rain drying out as you head back home. It's going to be a wet Sunday for you. There's the rest of the 7-day outlook. A little cool as you head back home, too, there. That's my kind of football weather. Yeah. Temperatures in the 30s.
Yeah, I mean, that Saturday, Sunday, at least Saturday is looking nice here in Georgia. And you know, Florida State, it's looking like that run game will be very important with all the rain down there.
Good thing, yeah. That's right. And no snow.
Yeah.
At least not yet.
Yeah, it's not like going to be like Ohio or anywhere.
Right.
I'll say, all right, thanks, Sean. That's all the time for this week. It's been a fun year on the Blitz, and best of luck to the teams that advanced to the next round. Be sure to tune in tomorrow night for Fox 31 News Weekend. Have a great night.
Thanks for watching.